I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, December 8th. There is some light snow falling in portions of the mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. It is certainly not going to be a big impact at all, as the overall system is rather weak, has limited support in the upper part of the atmosphere and somewhat limited moisture as well. It does intensify, but not until the system gets well off the eastern seaboard, so that should spare the mid-Atlantic region and the northeast U.S. from anything significant today. And we'll get into that a little bit further over the next couple of minutes. First, I want to just jump ahead a couple of days because we do have a quite an impressive weather event coming for the eastern third of the nation Friday into Saturday, and it is going to be a surge of warmth, and in many cases on Saturday afternoon, record warmth in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Very good chance of record-breaking warmth on Saturday. For example, the high temperature on Saturday, the high temperature record on Saturday in Philadelphia is 65 degrees. They should beat that the way it looks right now. D.C. and New York City as well, the records are in the 60s, and we're going to make a run at 70 degrees, I think, in the D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City corridor. This is, in fact, the severe weather outlook by NOAA's Storm Prediction Center for the period from Friday morning into Saturday morning. Kind of unusual for December, but look at this. This is associated with a strong cold frontal system right in this part of the nation. Again, from Friday morning to Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon and evening, there might be some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms in the eastern seaboard area. Again, a surge of record warmth coming to the eastern states on Saturday. Well, let's get back to the light snow. Right now, there is some scattered light snow shower activity in the mid-Atlantic region, in the northeastern part of the nation. A low pressure area is just now pushing off the Carolina coastline. It will continue to intensify, but move to a position well off the east coast, limiting any kind of impact, any significant impact in the mid-Atlantic region or northeastern states. Again, there can be a touch of snow at times, really for the next several hours in the mid-Atlantic region and the northeast U.S. A decent amount of rainfall in the warm sector from the eastern Carolinas all the way across Georgia down into the southeastern states associated with this weak low pressure area. Again, it will intensify, but not until it moves off the east coast. Well, let's talk about the upper air pattern. We've kind of been talking about this for several days, in that there are several players on the field, multiple upper level disturbances, and when there are multiple upper level disturbances, it could really slow down intensification of a low pressure area, because these upper level waves of energy are kind of competing for energy and minimizing the intensification, at least for a while. Right now, as we begin the day here on Wednesday, we have this kind of stretched out vorticity max right in this region right here, kind of a second wave up across the upper part of the Midwest. And as we move forward, you'll see they do tend to intensify and kind of consolidate or phase, but not until right in this time period right here. We have kind of a phasing together, a consolidation by this evening, but by this time the surface low is well off the eastern seaboard. If this had taken place several hours ago, might be a different story today in the mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S., but again, the main phasing together of these upper level disturbances will not come until the low pressure area at the surface is well off the eastern seaboard, limiting its impact in the I-95 corridor region and all the way up into New England. Meanwhile, let's jump ahead. Tomorrow will be a cold, dry day throughout the mid-Atlantic region. Then we'll start to see kind of a ridge popping up here by the time we get to Friday night. A strong upper level ridge situated over the Gulf of Mexico, southwesterly flow aloft across the heartland, the middle part of the country, and there'll be a surge of warmth associated with this ahead of the next cold front. By the time we get to Saturday morning, now look at this, a very impressive upper level feature associated with that next incoming strong cold front. This will be a day of potential record warmth all the way from the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, into the eastern states. Again, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City all have record highs in jeopardy on Saturday afternoon. And there are likely to be some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms ahead of this cold front in the eastern third of the nation later Saturday into Saturday evening. This does kind of whip on through. By the time we get to Sunday, we'll be in a colder air mass in the mid-Atlantic region. It does drop considerably the temperatures from perhaps 70 degrees on Saturday afternoon to more than likely the upper 40s for highs on Sunday afternoon, but it does warm up again next week. Well, let's take a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies from the 6Z run of the GFS. A large area of colder than normal weather from eastern Canada across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, into the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, supporting the idea of snow today primarily with this weak low pressure area, just not a lot of it. But the cold air is hanging on, and it does certainly hang on through the day on Thursday. This is the Thursday morning forecast map, but here we go. We got the surge of warmth starting to show up in the central part of the nation on Thursday. That slowly pushes to the east by Friday morning and really intensifies across the south central states. And take a look at this upper level pattern, 850 millibar temperature pattern. By the time we get to Saturday morning, the real core of the warmest air will be right over the mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., at least the warmest air relative to normal on Saturday. And again, record highs possible. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City with a stiff southwest wind blowing ahead of the next incoming cold front. You kind of see the cold front right here with these temperature anomalies. Colder than normal air across the central plains Saturday morning, but ahead of that front, a surge of record warmth into the eastern states. Let's move forward here, and that colder air does move in by the time we get to Sunday into the mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. Big change in temperatures from potential record highs on Saturday in the mid-Atlantic, the northeast U.S., to colder weather on Sunday, back into the 40s for highs. But that cold spell is pretty short-lived, and we turn considerably warmer than normal across much of the eastern two-thirds of the nation by the middle part of next week. Certainly next week is looking like a warm week for the middle part of December across much of the nation. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps from the 6E GFS. Again, there can be a touch of snow at times in the mid-Atlantic region, in the northeast U.S. Maybe some places will get a coating of snow, but nothing significant, because here is the weak low pressure area already off the North Carolina coastline, and it does intensify. Notice from this time to this time, goes from 1014 millibars down to about 1006 millibars right here. As that upper level, couple of disturbances in the upper part of the atmosphere finally phase together, but the low pressure area is far enough off the coast to limit its impact in the I-95 corridor region. Again, there can be a touch of snow at times. It intensifies even further by the time it gets well off the New England coastline by early tonight. Then we move forward. Thursday, cold, dry, not all that windy kind of a day in the mid-Atlantic region and the northeastern states. And then look at this low pressure area forming across the south central plains by Friday morning. Ahead of it, strong south to southwest flow of air will bring a surge of warmth into the south central states on Friday. That extends all the way into the eastern third of the nation by the time we get to Saturday. Strong low pressure headed up to Canada with a strong cold frontal system cutting across the Midwest in Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley on Saturday morning. Again, record highs possible on Saturday afternoon in the big cities along the eastern seaboard, and maybe even some strong to severe thunderstorm activity from the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley to the East Coast during the day on Saturday into Saturday night. That frontal system does slide on through. By the time we get to Sunday, we should clear out and turn considerably colder. Highs back confined to the 40s, most likely D.C., Philadelphia, New York City on Sunday afternoon. But temperatures again can make a surge towards the 70-degree mark on Saturday afternoon in that part of the I-95 corridor region. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.